look at some of the individual growth you saw and the direction this team is headed. How encouraged are you toward the future?
I think some, as I talked earlier today, we had some guys that I think are significant in the importance of the growth of this team. I thought take steps forward. Certainly Larkin would be at the top of that list. I've said before, we need some guys to become elite players in their prime, and I thought he took a step from a guy who a year ago in the middle part of the year was struggling on the wing to a guy who I think is really coming as a two-way center. Not perfect yet, but wants to be that. And then, what did he end up with? 60-some points. So good progression. So I think that's positive. I think we had some other young guys in that same mix. I think those are positive. I think as a team, as I mentioned earlier, like I told them multiple times that from opposing coaches that our team identity was very clear, and I think that's going to be an important thing for us to continue to win games as we move forward. I mentioned earlier today, we're kind of in a transition from how this organization had success and how they played previous to now, and I think the biggest part of that is utilizing and trying to play faster through the neutral zone, and when teams when opponents leave the ice against us, I want to make sure they say, boy, that team's fast. And part of that's certainly being fast, but I think a bigger part of that's playing fast. And I think we've done a good job of that and trying to use our quickness to be on top of people. So I think those things are positives.
Jeff, what do you like about Tyler being on the line with Henrik and Gus? What did you like most about that line tonight?
Well, I think Tyler's a real bright spot for this team. I've said it a few times. He's a real good piece to a winning hockey team. He plays winning hockey. He's extremely smart defensively. He's very strong stick, very strong in the puck. Is hard and smart and with good skill. That's a rare combination. Lots of guys that have good skill aren't as hard as him, or maybe not as smart. He's got that rare combination. So I think that's a real positive. So now you put him with Henrik and Nike. Henrik holds onto the puck lots. Bert knows where to go. He goes that net front all the time. But he's also smart enough to get how to play with two smart players like that. So I think Bert's a real bright spot for us.
What are the little things that you guys need to do to turn these one-goal losses into one-goal victories?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's to a large part the league now is one-goal games. Certainly, we've been in tons of them over the last 3 years. My first year we won lots of them. Last year we won a little bit more, and this year we didn't win enough. What do you need to do? I think it's just making plays at critical moments. And I think that's the big maturation process of some of our young players becoming elite players in their prime. I think the elite players seem to separate the league in those moments, and we need some of our guys to take that next step to find ways to score that goal at a critical moment, or find ways to make a defensive play at a critical moment.
I think it was about a month ago, whenever it was talking about the young players and how much token hockey, and you talked about it, and now about a month later, do you feel like, even in the last month, that there's been less of that? Do you feel like something's gotten through a little bit?
Yeah, and I don't know that was a thing that was consistent, all the time. I think it's a thing that as a young player, sometimes this is in every shift league, and I think that message certainly was heard. And I think guys make conscious efforts to play that type of complete game that you have to. Like I thought tonight, I thought in a lot of ways Dylan Lark was the best player on the ice. There's lots of really good players on the ice tonight, and he was the best player on the ice, and partly because of his ability, but probably bigger reason because he stopped on pucks. He played through people. He didn't poke and hope. So I think the message was heard. I think guys made strides, but these strides, we live in an instantaneous type society. We want immediate gratification. That's not how it works. Like it's a. You guys make fun of me for the word process. That's the reality of life. Like this stuff doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. And then you take steps forward. You take steps back, and you take steps forward. That's just the reality of growth. And we're gonna keep working towards that growth.